Hello everyone, welcome to Future of Growth, the special podcast series on Tamil Nadu's Global Investor Meet. In today's episode, we are honored to have Mr. Satyakam Arya, the CEO of Daimler India Commercial Vehicles, as our distinguished guest. A seasoned executive with diverse international experience, Mr. Arya is a specialist in supply chain management, greenfield project setups, business turnaround, and customer services. Our focus today is on sustainable mobility shaping the future. Join us as we delve into the transformative journey of the automotive industry, exploring the role of advanced manufacturing, green initiatives, and the visionary leadership steering Daimler's commitment to sustainable practices. Get ready for a compelling discussion that navigates the intersection of innovation, environmental consciousness, and the future of mobility in Tamil Nadu and beyond. Now to our guests. Sir, Daimler India Commercial Vehicles has been a key player in the automotive industry. How has the company contributed to the evolution of sustainable mobility in the Indian market?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. The topic sustainable mobility shaping the future is a very, very important topic in the current context. In fact, I believe this would be the most important and significant collective action we will take as human race to shape our future. Now, what is sustainable mobility about and how have we contributed in Tamil Nadu or India on that? Well, let's first understand what sustainable mobility is about. And I believe there are three very important aspects to sustainable mobility. The first one is the zero emission. How do we get to a zero emission? Second, which is not very often talked about, but I believe is also a very, very strong contributor to sustainable mobility, is road safety. How do we improve road safety? And we know where India stands on that, right? And the third important aspect is the circularity, right? Mobility or automotive is a hardcore manufacturing business, and it uses a lot of inputs, a variety of materials. And how do we make the end-to-end value chain circular, right? So these are the three important dimensions, let me say, of sustainable mobility. Now, what has Daimler India done when it comes to sustainable mobility? And I'll pick each of them one by one. When we talk about road safety, I'm proud to say that we provide the safest trucks and buses on the Indian roads, right? And I'll give you some examples of why do I say that. We were the company who said we will not do cowl trucks, right? Now you would say, what is a cowl truck? A cowl truck is a half-built cabin, and this is how the trucks are produced in India and shipped to the dealerships and eventually to the customers. They follow the current standard of road safety or crash safety for the cabin, but it is a very, very old standard, right? And we said, since this is not safe for our customers, we will not do that. When we came to the market, about 80% of the market was cowl trucks. Today, also about 30 to 35% of the market is cowl trucks. But we said we will not do what is not right. Our cabins are designed so that they can protect the driver and the co-driver in case there is a frontal collision, right? In fact, just this year, we have upgraded our heavy-duty cabins to the latest crash safety norm in Europe, right? This standard is not yet implemented in India, but we have gone ahead and did it ourselves. So I believe we have contributed a lot in improving the road safety or the safety on Indian roads. Other than that, government is currently talking about air conditioning in trucks. 60% of our sales are already with air conditioned cabins, and that has got a lot to do with safety. Also because if you read any survey report, most of the accidents happen either because of driver fatigue or error, right? And if you provide an air conditioned cabin, it's a more comfortable environment to the driver who work long hours driving trucks in very difficult situations. So we provide air conditioning right from day one. And some years back, we also provided a driver state monitoring in our trucks cabins, which means the driver is continuously being monitored if they are not attentive on the road or if they are feeling fatigued, right? It also has a functionality that someone who is intoxicated cannot drive, right? So this is what we did in terms of safety, and we as a company have decided we will always stay one step ahead of the regulations in the country. Now come to the second part, which is the most talked about part, zero emission, right? Well, globally we have announced that we want to lead sustainable transportation wherever we operate in. And sustainable transportation means zero emission vehicles for our future. So we as a company are working on both powertrains, whether it's electric or hydrogen, because we believe these two are the technology choices for the future when it comes to commercial vehicle markets. In fact, just this year, we have showed the concept of a intercity coach, which is based on fuel cell technology, hydrogen, right? And this is the first of its kind in India, which we have developed and produced. And apart from that, for our entire portfolio, we are currently working on transitioning, making the portfolio ready and transitioning to zero emission future. And the third is about circularity. And I think there we've already done a lot in terms of choosing materials very carefully, which could enable circularity. And the second is we will continue to do so as we move on.
Sir, I hear a lot of optimism in your words about e-mobility in India. Now coming to Tamil Nadu, sir. Tamil Nadu has a strong presence in the automotive industry. How does Daimler contribute to the state's vision of becoming a global manufacturing powerhouse, particularly in the context of sustainable transportation?
Tamil Nadu is our home, and we came here way back in 2009 when we formed up our business plan to invest in India. And I'll tell you why we chose Tamil Nadu at that point in time. First one, we needed a place which has a very well-developed manufacturing ecosystem. And I think there is no place better in India than Tamil Nadu to have that. Also, it's very significant automotive industry. I think about 35% of India's manufacturing capacity in terms of automotive production is in Tamil Nadu. Right? So we have a very well-developed and mature ecosystem when it comes to automotive manufacturing. The second important point for us was we needed to work closely with state government that we could also use the ease of doing business as much as possible. And I believe Tamil Nadu is a very, very progressive state when it comes to ease of doing business. And I'm so happy to confirm to you that all what was promised to us by the state government has happened. The third is, like you asked, we didn't want to use this manufacturing base only for catering to needs of the Indian market. We said when we are establishing a plant here, we want to use the expertise and the cost competitiveness of Tamil Nadu and of India. So we wanted to also choose a location which is conducive for exports. And that's the reason why we chose Tamil Nadu. Right? We invested close to 10,000 crores here. All our products which we produce here are localized more than 92% by value. Right? So we have more than 400 suppliers, and most of them are in Tamil Nadu, who work very closely with us. They have developed parts for us, they have developed technologies for us, and they supply to us here. We have about 4,000 people working in the company here, but in our entire ecosystem of suppliers and dealers, we've created jobs of about 60,000 people. Right? So I would say that's our contribution to the growth of manufacturing and automotive industry in Tamil Nadu. I earlier talked about exports. About 35% of our production actually is exported out of India. And we export to more than 60 countries worldwide, across many countries in Asia or Southeast Asia, Middle East, and even Latin America and Africa, right? So we export to more than 60 countries from here. In fact, I'm proud to mention to you that this is the only plant in the entire Daimler truck where we manufacture 4 brands under one roof. We do Bharat Benz for India, Nepal and Bhutan. We produce Mitsubishi Fuso for more than 40 markets. We produce Freightliner and export it to Mexico, as far as Mexico. And then we also do Mercedes-Benz, which is exported to Indonesia. So this is the only plant in the entire Daimler truck world which is producing all the 4 brands under one roof. And I think that speaks a lot about the manufacturing prowess of Tamil Nadu.
Wow, that's interesting, sir, because I always thought that it was only the domestic market that you cater to. So, considering Tamil Nadu's focus on becoming a 1 trillion economy by 2030, how does Daimler envision its role in driving economic growth while prioritizing sustainable practices in Tamil Nadu?
Well, a lot of things here. First of all, as I said, this is our home base, and this is what we will use for our future growth, right? Just to share with you some numbers when it comes to 2023. Our truck business is growing by 40% as I speak today. Our bus business is doubling from last year in this year, right? So we are on a significant growth path, and all of that growth is happening here in Tamil Nadu, right? So I believe we are quite well positioned and prepared to contribute to the Tamil Nadu's vision of $1 trillion economy by 2030. Talking about sustainability, I think we have covered a lot of ground in that area as well, and I'll give you some examples. This is the only plant in India of this size which actually runs on more than 90% when it comes to renewable energy, right? In fact, this year so far we are at 93%, right? So we produce a lot of solar power in-house, but we also buy solar and wind from outside, right? And we've been able to do that because Tamil Nadu provides that kind of ecosystem that the manufacturers can aim for that. In fact, our target is to achieve 100% by 2025. The same is when it comes to water. More than 80% of the water we consume in our manufacturing is recyclable, right? So we have a pond where we store the rainwater, we filter it, and we are able to use it for different needs. And here also we aim that by 2025 we'll be 100% self-reliant when it comes to water, right? We are also working on increasing the green cover in our facility. 60% of our facility is already green. We have a lot of trees there, and this year we added 16,000 more trees. And our plan is that in the next 3 years we will add 60,000 more trees when it comes to our facilities, right? We touched upon circularity just earlier. We have set clear target that by 2040, all the packaging we use in our plant or manufacturing would be completely recyclable, right? So these are some of the goals which we have set for ourselves, and I believe these goals are absolutely in sync with Tamil Nadu's plan of having a sustainable ecosystem for manufacturing.
Sir, the state's focus on circular economy practices is evident through initiatives like the Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company. So, how does Daimler actively participate in and contribute to circular economy principles in Tamil Nadu?
Well, I give you some examples already. Use of renewable energy and going up to 100% by 2025. That's one aspect. It's a very difficult target. It's a very aspirational target, but we are going to get there. Being 100% self-reliant on water usage is another step in that direction. I talked about packaging, right? And we will get 100% recyclable packaging by 2040, right? There's another very important aspect of the products we are doing, right? How they are contributing to sustainable mobility and circularity. Well, if you look at how India is planning to transition to zero emission, we have set a target of 2070 as a nation to become 100% carbon neutral. And in between, we have a target of 2047 to become energy independent. Right. So we have set 2 milestones as a country, as a nation. What we are aspiring is that by 2039, we will provide a full range of products which will be zero emission. So 31 years ahead of the country's target, because we believe we have to lead the way when it comes to shaping the mobility of the future. So we will have the entire range of products ready, and of course, as the ecosystem matures, as the equation which I talked about earlier plays out, we believe the switch to zero emission will also happen.
Sir, you had earlier touched upon cowls in India. So, how can we elevate safety standards and move towards a more standardized ecosystem? And what role can policymakers play in facilitating this transition?
Well, policymakers play a very important role in doing that. And that, again, 2 or 3 aspects I'll touch about, right? We recently saw a report by Government of India that the logistics costs in India are about 8 to 9% of GDP. Which is pretty high. I believe India can easily go to 5 to 6%, right? So investment in infrastructure is a key enabler, which I think is happening very fast. The need is big, so it will take some time, but the investment is happening very, very fast. The second thing which we have to focus on is standardized investment in logistics infrastructure. What do I mean by standardized? Well, for example, when a truck docks to collect material or unload material, there is a certain height of a platform, right? We need to standardize this across the country so that, trucks can be used more efficiently, right? So things like this have to be done. Standards have to be developed and they have to be implemented across the country. The third is we need to develop multimodal logistics parks, right? Because in future, as express highways come up, the tractor trailers will move very fast on the highways, delivering goods from one city to the other. But they will not enter the city, right? Because otherwise you waste a lot of money on a very expensive equipment or asset and waste a lot of time, right? So these are the trucks which are high value trucks. They should keep on moving, right? So they should be able to offload their goods and collect new goods outside the city. And the transportation of goods within the city has to happen with middle mile and last mile segments, right? But you need facilities across India to enable that to happen. Government has already announced establishment of, or a plan to establish 35 multimodal logistics parks. So that has to be realized. And the last part is also about scrappage of old vehicles. We touched upon circular economy a lot. I believe one important aspect is how do you take out the old vehicles from the road, because they are more polluting, they are less efficient, right? So I believe we need a more effective scrappage policy. We need very well developed scrap centers who are able to take out materials from vehicles which are scrapped and send it back to the industry for reuse, right? And we need a very effective and robust mechanism to inspect vehicles and decide which ones are not roadworthy and should be scrapped, right? So these are the important aspects which I think the government and the industry can work together to make that happen.
So I completely agree that the government and industry have to work together to achieve this goal. Sir, in consideration of the current technology limitations, for long distance electric commercial vehicles in India. How is Daimler India's commercial vehicles diversifying its product portfolio to promote sustainability beyond electrification?
Well, there are two aspects when it comes to future technology choices for commercial vehicle sector. Um, and we have always been saying that only electric is not the option. Right? Why do we say so? Well, if you look at the entire commercial vehicle market, there are many segments there. Right? For example, the light commercial vehicles which are used within the city and mostly up to 200 kilometer of transport. Electric makes perfect sense for that. The same is for buses which run within the city, right? But when it comes to long haul transport, we believe only electric is not the option. The current technology for batteries is actually quite sufficient for up to 500 kilometers of transport in a day on a single charge, right? And beyond 500 you need hydrogen for that. So we as a company are investing in both the technology tracks, and we will bring these technologies to the Indian market. And just to give you an example, we've recently launched the e-Actros in Europe. Actros is a heavy duty truck, and we have now delivered this truck with electric powertrain which can do up to 500 kilometers on a single charge, right? So we've demonstrated that technology. The second thing we have also done is we have also demonstrated that a fuel cell hydrogen truck can do 1000 kilometers again on a single charge, right? So we are currently developing these technologies, we are demonstrating them, and we are putting them to use and improving them, optimizing them as we come to. And we believe as the Indian market also gets ready with the charging infrastructure, we will bring these technologies to the Indian market.
So, we spoke about sustainability and policy. An important aspect for any goal to be achieved is also on skilling. So, I just wanted to understand what is the kind of investment that Daimler puts into creating a very skilled workforce.
Well, we do a lot of investment in skilling. You can call it upskilling or reskilling of our people. And I'll give you some examples. And we also use India or the talent in India for global capability centers. So first, let me come to the skilling part, right? In our company, since we started, we have a academy, we call it Bharat Benz Academy, which is for skilling drivers, mechanics, our sales people, and our service professionals, right? So all the people who actually work with our customers to make them more successful are actually trained on technology and other things here, right? So we have this academy since last 10 years, and every year they are training hundreds or sometimes thousands of people, right? In fact, very recently we have established regional training centers across 4 locations in India, right? The second aspect is about manufacturing and quality. So we have also inside our company Daimler India School of Quality, where we continuously train people on quality tools and latest manufacturing practices, right? So we since beginning have done a lot on skilling people, and we will continue to do so. This year we also trained our people on digitalization, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and those kind of technologies which are coming in manufacturing in our business. And I believe these endeavors will continue, and they will only intensify as we go on. We have done trainings with our people on electric powertrain, and in future we will also do that with hydrogen as a fuel or a technology for future. So that's the skilling part, right? Now coming to the second part which you asked in terms of global capability center. So we have a global capability center in our corporate office, and there we have about 400 people who work in about 13 functionalities, and they do a lot of work for our overseas locations like Japan, Europe, and US, right? And we focus on high-end engineering work here, right? Because we believe India offers a lot of very competitive talent who can contribute to our global success.
So quickly, let me just ask you, how important is advanced manufacturing in your sector?
It is definitely there, and there are many aspects when you talk about advanced manufacturing or industry 4.0, right? It's all about automation and robotics, which we have done a lot. As our volumes grow, we will further explore those opportunities. The second is, how are we using the data we generate to improve our manufacturing processes or performance? And we are doing a lot there. We have started to capture data from our equipment. We are doing a lot of test cases. For example, all the utilities we have in the company are driven by those data and taking those decisions. In fact, we have created a blueprint for future of automotive manufacturing, and that's a bit of mid to long term plan. And in the next 5 to 6 years, we will see a lot of investments we will do and make our company Industry 4.0 ready.
So now that you told about Industry 4.0, I just can't resist asking, where do you see Tamil Nadu yourself in this Industry 4.0?
Well, I think it's happening quite fast in the sense that the big and the progressive players in Tamil Nadu are actually picking it up. They are investing into it. Right? I believe Tamil Nadu government has also established an advanced center for automotive manufacturing, which I believe will play a lot of important role in bringing those technologies to the manufacturers. Right? But I still believe we have a lot of ground to cover. Ground to cover in terms of bringing those technologies, trying out certain use cases, and then see what makes sense. Right? And I believe this starts with the bigger companies. How do you take it to the medium and small enterprises? I think that's where the bigger challenge will lie. And I believe it will be very important that both the industry and the government work together to make that happen. We also have to keep one thing in mind. We should not do these just for the sake of doing. We have to do what makes sense for the Indian context. Many times when we look at some initiatives which have been done in other parts of the world, especially the Western world, they actually do not make sense for India. And it's also because our labor cost is very competitive, right? So I think we have to find the right balance in picking up things which make more sense for us, and then go and get them to doing that.
So those are very interesting observation on how we are marching towards Industry 4.0. As a concluding remark, would you like to share some message that we can take to our listeners?
Definitely. Well, I think this is the best time in the history of our nation. The next decades, India will emerge as a very significant economic and social powerhouse in the entire world. Within India, when we look at Tamil Nadu is always ahead when it comes to growing economically and socially. So I believe this is the best time for automotive industry and manufacturing to be in Tamil Nadu and to be in India. And let's make the best out of it.
So thank you very much for joining us on this wonderful interaction on sustainable mobility. Thank you everyone for joining us on this insightful journey into sustainable mobility shaping the future. We hope you found this conversation valuable and gained new perspectives on the industry and its future. Stay tuned for more engaging discussion with industry leaders. So until next time, this is Yarni signing off on Future of Growth.
The future of growth.